Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. You just got Wayne and Tim. Light skinned boys being light skinned. But speaking of light skin, well, is Oubre light skin? I don't know, but Oubre led the charge tonight, man. Honestly, though, this was a big win for the Sixers. Yeah, New York was missing big time players too. They really, they was missing a lot of guys too. So you don't want to get too overly excited about it. But however, this is the Sixers' first win without Embiid and Maxey. So and it was one we badly needed. We had contributions all around. It was an ugly game. Knick shot horrible. We shot horrible. Oubre led the way with 18 and 10, 3 assists, 3 steals, shot 31%. Tobias shot 35%, but he had a double-double too, 11 and 11, 2 assists, 2 steals. Our starting guards struggled a little bit. Starting center struggled a little bit, but the guys off the bench, Buddy Hield was 16 and 7. Paul Reed with 13 and 7. Paul Reed shot 62%. Buddy Hield 66%. So, it's encouraging. Like I said, I'm still, it is what it is. When we go back against the Knicks on Tuesday, they're going to be ready to go back at everybody. New York will probably with a chip on their shoulder Tuesday. But that being said, man, the Sixers did what they need to do to win. The rest started to hose them a little bit down the stretch, and they still fought through it and played through it. But it was a good win for the Sixers, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right now we came in during the game, we was in 6th place and we remained in 6th place. So that was a good thing because we fight in Orlando, we fight in Miami. So the fact that we was able to hold on and get this win, our only goal right now is to stack wins. Shout out to Kelly Oubre. He did his thing tonight. He came in there and he was like, seconds. He got a lot of second chance shots for us and everything. And the bull, Paul Reed. He was hitting 3-point. He had 2 3-pointers in the game. He played very sensible, like smart. He did a lot of smart plays, secondhand. This is his game. This is what I wanted from him. I don't need 20, 30 points, but if you give me 10 points a game, 13 points a game on some nights, get no second chance opportunities, I'm good with Paul Reed playing that way. So shout out to Paul Reed. He only scored 15 points in the first quarter, yo. Actually, both teams shot 15 scored 15 points in the first quarter. But man, I'm proud of the win. We got the win. Only thing I can say is the boy Tobias is still Tobias. Be honest with me, this boy had an opportunity to really do some things. He only scored 2 points in the first half. I don't want to come down on you, but if you are the only starter, think about it. He's the only starter.
What does that mean, though? That I don't think that means nothing. I agree. So, and see, here we go making this about him again. Like I said, it's about the team. And yes, Oubre outplayed him at 40. But y'all continue to want to pit teammates against teammates. We talking about a team. We talking about the team combining together. Oubre even said how Oubre didn't. They both shot around the same amount. Oubre just shot more times. They shot the same percentage, bro. Oubre shot 31%. Tobias shot 35%.
But Tobias took 1 shot in the first half.
Okay.
And we needed him.
Did you want him to take a more shooting what he shot?
He didn't shoot.
Hold on. See, and this is where I say about the disingenuousness. Because in a game, when it's a game where Tobias shoot hard, but it's like, oh, he putting up all them shots, get somebody else the ball. But then, because I said this the last time we talked, when he scored all them points, and y'all was talking about that. And so now, here, when he doesn't shoot as much, when he's not going well, and he's not shooting as much, now you still saying he should have shot more.
If you only score 15 points in a quarter, do you realize today's game is the lowest scoring game in the NBA this year? And then you got your starting forward taking 1 shot in the first half. You can't do that.
Hey, I hear you. I'm not.
I'm praising a win, but you cannot take 1 shot in the first half and think that's acceptable when all of the other starters are not even on the court with you.
See, this is why you was about to be doing the show yourself, because I can't stand to come here. I'm going to talk about the team winning, but y'all making a whole Tobias Harris. It's the same Ben Simmons thing all over again. It's the Ben Simmons conversation all over again. We talking about the team getting together, and I'm not ripping Oubre. Oubre did bring the energy. Oubre also made a couple bad plays down the stretch too, but I'm not mad at that because he was being aggressive. I'm saying I'm looking at the whole. You stupid master crab. I'm looking at it as a whole. That's just like what's his name? Lowry shot horrible, but he hit that big clutch 3-pointer. The team made play. So you don't think it was clutch? Tobias Harris got clutch rebounds down the stretch.
He missed 2 open. He missed 2 free throws.
Oubre missed 2 free. No, Oubre missed 2 free throws. Tobias missed 1 and made 1. Oubre missed 2 back-to-back free throws.
Tobias he got a free technical foul down the stretch.
Okay,
he clanked it, and then he got another shot and he missed 1 and made 1.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
And Oubre went to the line to shoot 2 free throws and missed them. But he came back and played. That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad. The team did what they need to do. This is why you need your star players. This is why you do need your star players, because now these dudes, you don't need as much from them. But that's just like everybody also was ripping Buddy Hill trash, Buddy Hill. You don't think Buddy Hill was important for this game today? You don't think what Buddy Hill did matter? You know what I'm saying?
Buddy, how you feel about Nick Nurse benching him?
I think he should be coming off the bench.
Then he's better off coming off the bench.
Yeah, if evidently he's not a star player type, you know what I'm saying, dude. But campaign, I love his dope. Campaign guy, do if campaign gonna win some minutes when Maxey come back and B come back, he gonna have to do better than what he did tonight. But I do, but I also
he was 2 for 10. He struggled,
but he also was aggressive. See, this is where it comes in. This is where I'm saying, where do we find the balance? Because at one point we'll talk about a guy struggling shooting, but then if they don't shoot, then we're talking about how if they don't shoot, then we're talking about how passive they are and this, that, and other. But if they do shoot, do we want them to be aggressive even if they miss it? Like campaign, he was aggressive. He was missing, but he was aggressive. So I mean, hey, listen. People going to choose to root for who they want to root for and talk about who they want to talk about. But I do agree with you. I would love to see this from Paul Reed on a consistent with consistency. And all right, if they come back, when B and Maxey get back, who loses minutes? Hold on real quick. Hey Vaughn, you know why? Hey Tim, tell them why Ricky Council don't get these minutes no more.
No, nah. I think it's pretty much politics, NBA politics. He has like a contract. I think it's like a 2-way contract. He play a certain amount of minutes. They got to convert their contract. So this is more politics with Ricky Council. So we'll see how it goes. But,
yeah, and but I think when B comes back, I'm not mad at the way Nurse has Mo Bamba starting over Paul Reed. I'd rather Paul Reed stay in the role that he's going to play when they come back. The same thing goes with Buddy Hill. If Buddy Hill's going to be your guy coming off of the bench, put him on the bench now and let him come off the bench. So he's used to that rotation and that role. And you just got to hope that the guys you put in the starting spot can at least hold it down till your major guys get back. So,
yeah, the good point in Pumas. New York shot so bad, Tobias is gonna everybody's gonna get a bunch of rebounds because everybody was off. Both teams struggled from the floor. So if you out there near the ball, you're gonna get a rebound.
I mean, Mo Bamba had 1 rebound. He's starting center. He had 1 rebound.
How many minutes he played though?
He had 19 minutes and 1 rebound.
And how many minutes did Toby play?
He played 38.
Exactly. So he almost played double. He literally did play double the amount he played.
He played double the amount and he got 10 times as many rebounds. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he was on the floor a lot more.
So I'm saying it ain't so just to dismiss and say you just gonna get rebounds by like just the other team. You still fighting the other team for rebounds, ain't you?
I ain't saying he wasn't, but I'm just saying that team was terrible. They shot horrible.
RJ Embiid is coming back. Hey Tim, don't post none of their stuff. They can't be on the pod. Don't post their comments. We gonna stop encouraging negligence. Hey RJ, they already said Embiid already lifting the same weights he was lifting before he went out on an injury, and he's resuming basketball activities. So they just not making a big they not making a big deal about it. So but he is working his way back. Yeah.
My whole thing is no rush. Let's if we can get like 8 games, a good 8 to 10 games underneath his belt with the full squad, we'll be all right. So that's why
Now,
I'm not even mad.
so what if it's a matter of us needing him to play to make it to not be stuck in the what's the name game to play in?
The playing.
Then
I
you
want to
kind
know.
of had to. Hopefully, though, we win enough games when we go. Yeah, I don't know what is the word on Maxie. Maxie, he's sitting out under like a football concussion protocol. Like, he
What
out for like a
happened with
whole week.
I think it was a really serious, significant injury. So they probably putting all the precautions because remember he's a free agent after this year, so they got to make sure he got to take care. He got to make sure he's okay. This not football where we just gonna throw you in. He got a lot of money. He got about a $200 million deal, $180 million deal waiting for him.
Yeah.
So I don't blame his management. I don't blame his parents. You get healthy, young boy, get healthy. So I don't have a problem with him sitting out. But I do think he'll be back for the second leg of this New York trip.
You think he's gonna be back on Tuesday?
I think he will. And I think what you call it said something. Kelly Oubre led to it a little bit in his post game interview, but then he kind of tried to walk it back. But I think he'll be back. So you're cool.
Oh, and that's another thing. I do got it. Also, even we giving Oubre the props for the playing, the offensive play and scoring and carrying the load, but his defense is top. When he's locked in and he plays under control, his defense is up there because of his athleticism and stuff. Because he made it difficult for Brunson.
He did.
So,
but Brunson is also coming back from a knee injury. Remember he got injured last week.
That's true.
I think this is the second game back. He's definitely not the same player that he was a couple of weeks ago, especially when it was in New York. I mean, it was in Philly. So right now, because you got to think about New York, they missing OG, they missing Julius Randle, and then they got Brunson just coming back. So they kind of in the same boat that we are. So it's kind of like both bench squads pretty much playing against each other.
Right, that's what it was.
Now, what do you think about the foul with Kelly Oubre on the ground and then Dante DiVincenzo kind of?
So what they call? I ran up to the bathroom at that point. They didn't get a flagrant.
It wasn't a flagrant. They called 3 technicals. They called a technical on DiVincenzo and Hartenstein. I think that's his name. And then they also called one on B-Ball Paul because B-Ball Paul was he was the only one.
Yeah, because what Hartenstein did was dirty. Because while DiVincenzo was holding his leg, Hartenstein came in there and like pushed him over. Like you could have made his leg get twisted, whatever. So I ain't even mad at B-Ball Paul. You're supposed to take one of them for the team.
I said Paul Reed. I gotta give him his props. He's the only one from the Sixers squad that was about to put us on work and was okay with it. So he got
Hey, Ampu, that's the only thing with Oubre, because I do think, like I said before, if at the end of the year we got to make a choice and we can't keep both, and we got to make a choice between Tobias and Oubre, I'm taking Oubre. But that's one of the main problems with Oubre is he do at times play out of control. But that's kind of, I mean, hey, look, that's why he calls himself Tsunami Poppy. You know what I'm saying? You're whirlwind though. But if you got but that's why I say I like if you got him on a team where you got Maxey and B starting and being and carrying the weight, I like Oubre as your third or fourth.
I remember the Paul Reed I'm seeing now is kind of the Paul Reed I wanted to see in the beginning of the season, but I am seeing growth from him. I am seeing a lot of growth from him. But going back to the fight, so the bull DiVincenzo, and I think he played a little dirty too. You think he's dirty a little bit, or you think he just
who
Dante DiVincenzo?
I don't know if he's dirty. Do he got a record? Do he got a reputation of being dirty?
He's not like the other bull. What's the bull name from what's the bull that's really, really dirty that everybody don't like? He's not like him.
Okay.
But he has potential. I'm just like right now I'm still eyeing him a little bit. I think he plays a little bit out of control.
I mean, honestly though, if you look at DiVincenzo I'm not mad that he was mad. Oubre dropped the elbow on that man's head. He dropped the elbow on that boy's head on the foul. And I don't know, Oubre might have said something slick to him when he bent down. When he went bent down there. And real quick, hey, Master Crab, that's what he calls himself, Tsunami Poppy. That's his nickname that he gave himself. Like how Kobe called himself Black Mamba and everybody started calling him that. No, that's what he calls himself.
Yeah, Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
He's not as bad as Grayson Allen, but he's still, to me, he's gaining that reputation.
And yeah, you can't want Paul Reed to go. You still got to keep your head about you because you still need to win, and you're leading, and certain stuff happen. You can't. This ain't the '80s basketball. I know some of y'all old heads in here. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all street ballers out here, like, you know, want to play the thug ball sometimes. Like if somebody hit you, you got to go back and hit them back. And that's that '80s basketball. They don't allow that stuff no more. So Paul Reed ended up doing something like that and getting tossed out the game when he was having a good game, man. I don't know. If you caught up in the spur of the moment and you know, punches being thrown and everything else, that's different. But if it's like a little shuffle and scuffle going on, man, I don't want to see the guys that's important on the team going out there and getting kicked out of the game.
No, I agree. Yo, the boy Hubie Brown, he's still sharp though. This man 91 years old.
I'm about to say, ain't he up there?
He's 91 years old.
Is he really 91?
He's 91. He's born in 1933.
Wow.
I should make him 91. But I'm like, when he was going back and thinking about players back, I'm like, yo, this man is still sharp. I had to look him up. Like, how old is dude? He's 91.
And guess what? Every time he go back into coaching, how old he is, whenever he go back into coaching, his team gets better. He takes he definitely, you're right. You definitely got to put him down. If he ain't in the Basketball Hall of Fame already, he has to be in there as one of the greater basketball minds, because when he called the game, he know what he's talking about. And when he's one of the few old guys that'll go there and get on a team with a young roster and make them competitive.
Because you think about it, he's live at the game. He's analyzing the game as we're watching it with him. He's breaking it down. I'm like, yo, he's seeing all of this. Like, you're 91 years old, dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to give a shout out to Hubie Brown.
I mean, and he sounds extra good next to Doris Burke. I don't know why they keep trying. And people can say whatever they want. Stop trying to force these women into sports that don't fit in. Like, some of them don't feel like they belong. It feels like it's forced with some of these chicks.
I like Doris Burke. That wasn't Doris Burke. That was somebody else.
Who was it?
I don't know who it was.
So all of them sound like Doris Burke and the chick that do the 6. Yeah, see, they got all that testosterone, that feminine testosterone coming out there.
Yeah. Yo, but I do like Kyle Lowry as the backer. He would, like, again, he struggled, and so we won't need him to be our points, like, get us all the points. But I will say, having that veteran point guard, which I've been stressing from the door, the veteran point guard, we had that down. We needed that. Like, I'm telling you, had we had him 4 years ago, we probably would have won the NBA championship. That Atlanta, think about it.
Oh, yeah, that
Atlanta series, that was
well, you would have had him. You would have traded Ben for him.
No, they kind of wanted Maxey.
So you would have gave up Maxey for Oubre?
Let me ask you that. Would you, Kyle Lowry?
No, I wouldn't have gave Maxey up for Kyle Lowry. No.
That's what it was. They kind of wanted Lowry. I went back and watched and see why I didn't go through. And that was what they were saying. But I don't know. We could have gave an extra first.
Because you know what? You would have had to give up Lowry. You would have had to give up Maxey. And I remember the big sticking point on it was that they was going to have to pay him because his contract was running up, and he wanted to get that big time contract.
We had to get, but wasn't he be worth
what, $38 million? No.
I mean, here's the thing.
No,
listen to me.
No.
Let's go
he
back.
Been worth $38 million.
Let's go back. Remember, since that moment, him and the Miami Heat, didn't they go to the finals twice with them?
He wasn't the reason they went to the finals. They went to the finals because Jimmy Butler balled to control every playoff.
Did he not go to the finals 2 times after he signed with the Miami Heat?
The Heat was already
they were a good team.
The Heat was already there. Like, nah.
I guarantee you, if we had him in that Atlanta series, we would have beat that Atlanta series, and we would have went to the NBA Finals.
And so you thinking he would have been the difference in us beating we'd have beat Boston with him and everything else, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I strongly believe it.
Okay. We'd beat the Heat, Boston, the Bucks, all them. All we needed was Kyle Lowry, huh?
We needed
an old Kyle Lowry.
Yeah,
so wait, but you're saying but remember, and you're also talking about so he wasn't gonna get no burn because Doc wasn't gonna bench. Doc ain't bench Ben Simmons for Maxey after in that one game. You think Doc was gonna bench Ben and bring in Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, because Doc liked veteran players.
Well, if he'd have did that, then you still wouldn't have had Ben Simmons here because Ben Simmons, you would have lost Ben Simmons long earlier than that because Ben Simmons remember Ben Simmons was sulking when Jimmy was bringing the ball when Brett had Jimmy handling the rock down the stretch and Ben was in his feelings.
That is all right though because it's different. He had a new coach. That was under Brett Brown first of all, and Brett Brown spoiled. Brett Brown raised 2 spoiled kids in Embiid.
And guess what? And you got mad at Doc was talking about Ben Simmons and holding him accountable. And remember, you kept blaming Doc for making Ben not want to come back to the Sixers. You was blaming Doc and B because Ben ain't want to come back.
No, it was more so Embiid.
Doc was the one that came out and said no, because Doc was the one that came out and said something.
Yeah. The thing is, that was probably the worst decision that I guarantee you, if Ben Simmons could do it all over again, he would not do that tantrum and everything and refuse to play. That was the biggest.
Doc was not going to bench Ben Simmons in that series.
No, we would have been.
Ben Simmons actually was having a decent series until they realized they could just do the hack a shack on him, and he turtled up for like the last 3 games. So
he said Morey came right in trying to trade Ben. He's seen it early.
No, he didn't come in trying. Ben didn't want to be here. The Sixers were still trying to keep Ben Simmons. They was trying to convince him to stay.
Morey tried. First of all, Morey played. What Morey did was he tried to trade for Harden, a bad trade. He was going to trade Maxey, Ben Simmons, and Thibault for Harden and for PJ Brown, not PJ Brown,
Tucker.
He was.
So why that trade didn't go through then?
Because Houston was just playing this just so they can get more money out of Brooklyn. But he thought he had that trade.
But they was going to trade Maxey. Maxey was definitely going to be in that trade.
Yeah, it was Maxey, Ben Simmons.
They wasn't trade. No. It was not Ben Simmons.
You talking about the Houston
yes,
trade?
Ben Simmons was not going to be included. No, it wasn't. Ben Simmons. That's when he was still saying they wanted to run it back with Ben and B.
That trade was Ben. It was Ben. That's what made him so mad. And Ben. That was the initial kickoff.
Ben was mad that his name was included in it.
No. He was told that the trade was going down, and he was like, they was asking him how you feel about the trade being. I'm telling you.
It wasn't. He wasn't because it did. All that didn't come out because I know for a fact
it was the trade.
Maxey thought he was going. Maxey thought he was going
because they had to make them Harden money. Harden's the only one that was making real money. They had to match their Harden money, and that Harden money was Ben Simmons' money. Yeah, Thibault wasn't making that kind of money, neither was or is Maxey.
And they wasn't going to take Tobias.
What did you say?
I said they wasn't going to take Tobias.
Tobias wasn't in that trade. It was Ben Simmons, but and that was the initial kink and like the chain. That's when it was like. That's when Ben was like, you know what?
I mean, or we could have made the trade that I said we should have made years ago when I said we should have traded Ben Simmons for CP3, but y'all told me CP3 was too old when he was 29. I think he's like 29. Y'all said he's too old. You got to keep Ben Simmons because he's young, this, that, and other. And then CP3 took OKC to the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there.
Hindsight 2020 definitely should have. I would have made that trade now because he would have had Embiid probably. NBA champion right now, so I would have made that trade. So I'll make that one.
Yeah,
that's all right.
I mean, we are where we are now. So hopefully the moves that we made, and honestly, it's just about B and Maxey coming back and being healthy. If B and Maxey come back and being healthy, I think it is enough firepower on this team where they can battle against other teams. You have Oubre. You can either have multiple players that could be the third highest scorer on each night between Oubre, Buddy Hield on a given night, Tobias Harris. You have different guys on this team that can be that third scorer in that's up near, in the high teens or low 20s on a given night. So
what's your thoughts on Knicks?
I mean, they was missing a lot of players. And we know the Knicks is a solid. The Knicks made some good pickups. And I think they have been playing well. So the Knicks is a tough team, and I think this goes back to the point. I will give Ephraim credit. He was talking about that with the foul calls and stuff like that. He was the one making a big stink about it. And he pointed out how you can see the NBA going a little different. And I do think the NBA I think they got a little bit, once they started seeing, I kind of think older players might have been saying stuff. Yeah, and guess what? Hey, in the 90s games sucked.
No, it didn't. But
they did. Ain't nobody want to see the Knicks and Miami fighting each other all day.
I enjoyed the Knicks.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're a hack. I want to see basketball. I want to see skilled basketball players. That's why all them old heads from the 80s and 90s, the league's soft now. They couldn't handle it back then. Nobody want to see that. Did you enjoy the game tonight?
Yeah, I loved it.
Because we won. Yeah. But did you enjoy watching that game tonight?
Okay, so let's go back to, remember a couple weeks ago, Gilbert Arenas on his podcast, he was saying that the reason why the game has changed so much is because the NBA catered the game towards the European players. So that was
an interesting point. It was interesting.
And he said what they did was they all of a sudden all the scoring, they made it easier for everybody to play in the game. And you're saying that's what you want to see. They took the defense out of the NBA. And you said
no. I'm not saying the defense in itself. I'm talking about
the NBA. I agree with you.
I'm talking about all the foul calls. I'm not talking about the defense in general.
That's part of it.
It's a little bit of it, but it ain't all of it like that. You do realize that since the 90s, they wasn't playing. Mind you, they was doing this in the 90s. You talking about how great their defense. It wasn't great. They couldn't even play zone defense. They can play zone defenses now. Like them dudes, Michael Jordan ain't had to worry about a zone defense going up against him. He had one-on-one matchups. And then if a dude came to double, the zone is not easy. If you can shoot, if you can shoot, which most of these guys can now, you can shoot a zone. You can shoot a team out of a zone. That's why the zone worked against the Sixers when it worked against them so much. Because we couldn't shoot.
AI said they put the zone in specifically for him.
Yeah. But and guess what? And you know what AI ended up started doing? Shooting that midi all through that zone and driving in and going to the foul line.
Like I said, they made the European, they made it easier for European players to get off.
Yes, X-Man. I said the 90s they were not playing zone. They didn't institute the zone until the 2000s. In my opinion, that was the best era of basketball, starting in the late 90s into the 2000s, when you had more talented players coming in with Kobe and AI and Ray Allen and all. You had players that could play more. It wasn't just you got the big goons back there at the power forward. You started getting power forwards that could actually make moves and score. It wasn't just the big thumping and doing all that type bigs. You had guys coming in with more skill. I think basketball got way better in the 2000s than it was in the 90s and 80s.
I think it was better in the 2000s than it is now. I think now it's real easy. It's too easy to game.
The 2000s was my favorite era. I agree.
It was the score. One game was like 140 points. This wasn't an all-star game. This was just like a regular season game, 130, 140. You gotta have some type of defensive presence in the NBA, and they took it out. And that's why the NBA said this year, after the season, they're gonna work with the competition committee to try to make it a little bit better because it's out of control now.
But see, I think once they just stop calling as many foul calls, this is what I believe about NBA players. I believe that they're skilled enough and that they're smart enough, and I think more players now are actually versed enough, whereas though they know this is what I'm saying. They know the rules. I'm not mad at anybody exploiting the rules for what the rules are. That's just like it's a whole bunch of old heads hate the Euro step or this step and the gather step. But it's the rules. It's not a walk. It's not a walk.
It's a walk. I don't care.
It's not a walk.
Euro is the
it's
walk.
A gather. It is not a walk.
It's a walk, man.
What
that's they made it easy. It's the easy way to get to the basket.
Actually, that's just like if you go back and look. Remember, I shared that Dominic Wilkins thing when he went down there and he did a regular Euro. It was like 1-2 and he shot on the off foot. And they was like, charge, a walk. It ain't a walk. It's the rules. It's two steps in the gather. Guess what? You know what? No, that was always in the rules. They just didn't they didn't implement it like that, and the refs wasn't calling it like that. That was never a walk.
Now these boys doing 2, 3, 4 walks at a time.
But that honestly, now Harden started taking. It seemed like he started taking a little extra step. But people used to remember people was hating on Harden with the double step back. Who says you can't take 2 steps backwards before shooting? I don't care. It ain't a travel. If it's in the rule, this is what y'all fossils got to get out of the 80s. If it's in the rules, if something is in the rule book, If it's in the rules that this is the rule, that's why you have rule committees and you read it.
I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised. First of all, we already know it's true because a ref guy, but he didn't go to jail. The bull from Philly because he was gambling.
Oh yeah, that's the one that caused Chris Webber against the Lakers. Yeah, that's what I'm. Listen, I get it. Sometimes, listen, the 80s. That's when I first started watching basketball in the 80s. That stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree.
X-Man, how old are you? But you got to be at least 45. I know you are, and he got to be at least 45. This is old head talk, man. I listen. I'd rather watch skilled players be able to make skilled plays. So,
but it's
watching Pat Ewing in that dry drop step.
They was banging. They
monkey
was
arm.
Him and Alonzo, like him and Morning going against each other. Him and Dikembe. Him and Shaq. Him and Hakeem. You telling me those the centers?
No. I'm not putting Hakeem in the same. Hakeem had skills.
You tell me them centers of the 90s and him and David Robinson are. You said all them. You got Hakeem, Morning, Dikembe, all them centers. You saying they can't compete with the centers of the day?
Dikembe is overhyped.
You telling me
Dikembe would get destroyed by Wemby. Wemby would destroy. He would destroy Dikembe. Dikembe couldn't even move. All he was just tall and block shots.
Okay, so all right. So when you talking about Morning was a skilled big man. Patrick Ewing was a skilled big man. David Robinson was a skilled big man. Olajuwon was a skilled big man. Shaq was a physical, dominant big man.
Okay, and you still got skilled big men now.
So you said if you can take the big men of the 90s and the 2000s versus the big men of the day, you're saying that the big men of the day are better.
It's comparable. Better than the 90s. If you're going to tell me about the 90s, so you tell me Embiid, Joker, Cat, AD. You taking these bigs and you telling me you want to take Lonzo Mourning and
I'm telling you, I'm taking
Pat Ewing over them.
I'm taking Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm taking them over the guys of the day. Yes.
Hakeem Olajuwon, yeah, but you ain't.
I'm taking Shaq over all of them.
Oh, Shaq is my favorite center of all time.
Most dominant center of all time, in my opinion. I'm taking Shaq over all of them. Now, who you taking over Shaq?
Who I'm taking? If we going and going head up and have one going against the other, I'll take Beat against Shaq because Beat to shoot outside all day.
You crazy.
Shaq will foul out. Shaq will foul out. Shaq is my dude. Shaq is my dude, so I ain't gonna hate on Shaq. But Shaq can't shoot no free throws, so you know they're gonna foul Shaq. It's the same reason why Shaq needed Kobe to win them chips like that. Because as the big, when you got it in the playoffs, they were going to foul you. You needed somebody else to be your clutch. That was if Shaq can shoot free throws, if Shaq took the time and could shoot free throws, even at like a 70% clip, there's nobody that ever would have stopped him in history, in my opinion.
I'm telling you right now, 2001 Shaq, ain't none of them coming close to him. Ain't none of them coming close to 2001.
You saying it's not even close to the centers back then couldn't shoot. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Yeah, he was going coast to coast, but he still couldn't shoot free throws. You talking about? I don't care. Joker making slow or whatever else. Joker, which one of them was passing like Joker, shooting? Hakeem was, but for the most part, you talking about them centers back then? Nah.
The shimmy from the dream. Come on, stop.
Oh, I like the dream.
94.
I like the dream and I like Shaq. But you hyping, you talking about the 90s had dudes like this, how bad it was for the 90s. You had the Davis brothers sitting up there guarding centers. Hey, I was like, come on, man. Antonio and Dale Davis. Come on.
They was big. They were some big Debo type bulls.
No, they wasn't.
Yes, Antonio Davis and Dale Davis wasn't sitting on swole in Indiana.
No, they was like LeBron size. Do you realize LeBron James is like Karl Malone size, and Karl Malone was a bully back then? Like, come on, man, let's stop talking about like these old slow dudes like they were just killing it in the league back then. In the league, they was. They not killing these skilled young. They not killing these skilled young boys that's working out all year round.
I take Rick Smith over half of those centers right now playing today.
What of the top? I'm not taking Rick Smith over Cat.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right, you tripping.
Rick Rick Smith was pretty solid.
Hey, and what do Zion shoot from free throws, X-Man? You keep talking about Shaq. Shaq could not shoot free throws. That's why he had to have a top guard on his team to win. And I love Shaq. That's my favorite center all time because he dominated so much. But he couldn't shoot free throws.
That's actually right, Charlie M.
And Gobert sucks.
He actually better. Dikembe is actually better than Gobert, but the point that he's making is that Dikembe would have been fine playing in this era, which he would have been.
I didn't say that they couldn't play in this era. I'm saying that they wouldn't be. I'm comparing them to go against the centers that's out there now. Most of them guys that you name, Shaq is different. Akeem is different. So I give you them too. But you give me Rick Smits and
listen, David Robinson would have held his own.
David Robinson, at his peak, David. You know who? Honestly, who's comparable to David Robinson to me is Anthony Davis. I think their games is very similar.
David Robinson was more available than he played. He actually played games.
David Robinson also needed, Tim Duncan, but
But listen, I take Tim Duncan. Who's comparable to Tim Duncan in this era? Nobody.
What you mean? In what way? I think Beat is comparable to him.
No, he's not.
Skill wise?
Say what you want. Tim Duncan is a straight winner. He won all. He won. He won wherever he went. Not wherever he went, but he played. What he got? 4. He got 5 championships, right?
Yeah, but that's a team accomplishment, bro. Yes.
I'm telling you right now. If I'm taking Tim Duncan, so right now I gave you the best centers /hip hop.
All right. So what era are you taking? Don't count 2009. Don't say 2090 against it. Tell me from the 90s because you were talking about the 90s. So I told you the 2000 was the best era to me, and 2000 is the one.
2005. That 10-year period.
2000 is the 2000 is the era that had all these bigs that you're naming. But when we were talking about the 90s, tell me the ones about the 90s. They was not great centers out there in the 90s.
You had Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Okay. You had Patrick
and who
Ewing.
else?
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing sucked.
David Robinson.
Tim Duncan
when he played.
Tim Duncan didn't come into the year, to like 97?
Yeah, he played the year at the AI.
He played the bulk of his career was in the 2000s.
He played. That's what I said. My era is 95 to 2000.
Stop mixing the rest of the 90s in though. We talking about if we going by decades. If we talking about some 80s, 90s, 2000s, all that's different.
No, because mine goes 95 to 2005. That's my period I like. That's when
X-Man, highlight X-Man. He said C-Web, KG, Malone, and Barkley were power forwards that would cook today easy. Karl Malone would not cook this year in this league. Karl Malone would not cook in this league.
X-Man preach. That's what I'm talking about.
All them. Listen, you know why Karl Malone would? Remember when Embiid tried to play physical and they was calling offensive fouls anytime he dropped it? Every time Karl Malone throw one of them elbows that they was allowing them dudes to throw like that back then, he getting kicked out.
Our next podcast, I want to have a conversation on small.
Now, to me, KG was a skill big. C-Web, I don't know. I don't know about C-Web. I like C-Web, but
he can dribble the ball.
And most of the bigs in the league now can.
No, but nobody, most of the league, the bigs back then wasn't dribbling the way he was dribbling.
Early 2000s to me was the best era of basketball for all total positions, the guards, the forwards, the centers. 2000s had the combination of all those.
It was. Yeah, then you got Marbury and Allen Iverson and all them guards, them elite guards, the Steve franchise. That 95
Ray Allen
era was the best. Ray Allen, come on, man, stop. You gonna tell me that era basketball?
I just told you the 2000. I just told you about the two. And guess what? Around the 2000s is when all those guys that you naming was coming into their own and being the stars of the league. So that's why I put that as their era.
Came in the 90s.
They came in the 90s, but they was reaching their stride and becoming those dudes. The league became theirs in the 2000s.
But I'm saying they all came in. They all came in the 95 to 99.
Kobe took like 3 years to become the Kobe we know. So Kobe wasn't even balling like that until like 99 in the 2000s.
But he still was in the 90s.
That's not the 90s. The bulk,
is the 90s.
major. All right. So when was the bulk of their career? What was the most of the time they played their career? In the 2000s.
It's not about it. I'm just saying that era they was the best. They was at their best
in the 2000s.
2005.
No, they were at their best in the 2000s.
They wasn't the best between 95 2005.
In the 2000s, they were at their best. You're right.
All right, I want next podcast. We're gonna have I want to have a conversation about the best small forwards in the league because a lot of people don't be giving Paul Pierce his props, and one would argue that Paul Pierce is probably top 5 best small forwards ever to play the game. But we're gonna talk about that. We'll address that later Tuesday after the game.
Ain't Dirk Nowitzki ain't Dirk Nowitzki more like in the 2000s?
Yeah, I would consider him more 2000s. Dirk regular.
Pat Ewing was overhyped to me with the big old bulky knee pads and stuff like that. Matter of fact, when New York finally did make it to the finals is when Pat Ewing wasn't even really wasn't their main guy no more. It was Sprewell carrying them. Pat Ewing was an afterthought when they went to the finals. They couldn't make it to the finals with Pat Ewing being the main player.
That's what they did because of '94 when they went against the Houston Rockets.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. He went in '94 against Houston.
Was it
'94?
I think it was like.
Oh yeah, when Mike left. Yeah, when Mike left, so he couldn't get past a guard. So he had once that guard left, he was able to sneak one in there.
So Dirk came in '97.
Yo, hold up. Think of that Miami, bro. You're not going to tell man in '94 that was trash out there. New York and Miami was trash.
He came out in 90. He played the 98-99 season. That's when Dirk.
Yeah, Charlie. I'm saying I get what y'all saying. Y'all saying where these dudes was drafted, but they didn't become those guys until in the 2000s. In the 2000s, those guys that was drafted in like 96, 97, 98, and all that. In the 2000s is when they started reaching. They started becoming the main, the ones carrying the league. That's why I'm saying the 2000s. Yeah, Cartwright. Hold up. Who was Chicago's centers when they was winning? Luke Longley, Scott Williams. So you telling me how exactly? So now tell me how dominant Pat Ewing was. He was losing to them bums. Man, get out of here with that.
No, first of all,
Pat Ewing was losing them. Pat Ewing wasn't nothing but a poster dummy for Michael Jordan.
No, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Those are the really. That's the reason why they won. Stop.
Pat Ewing couldn't even beat a real center. He couldn't even beat fake centers. Matter of fact, I don't want to talk. He couldn't even beat fake centers when they was out there. Nah, I ain't Pat Ewing hype. Y'all see, y'all don't know this. Tim was always a New York fan, a Knicks fan back in the day, because that's how Tim plays rock. He likes to hack people. So
Here we go. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We're gonna catch y'all after the game on Tuesday. We out.
All right.